Hey babes, welcome back. So this video is all about me, basically the questions that you guys asked I'll be answering. So if you want to get to know me a little bit more, keep watching. So I asked a lot of my followers on Instagram what they would like to know about me. Basically, I got a few questions on here. I also got some on Snapchat and in my DMs and stuff like that. So what I did was I basically put them together in like categories, and I'm gonna go through categories and answer the questions. The first question is, I've gotten this asked a few times. I'm not sure if you guys were able to tell. I know most of you already know, but I was born, well, the question is, where were you born? I was born in Guyana. And I only lived there, I don't know if you could, yeah, I could say that. I was there from when I was born, obviously, until I was 9 months old. Wait, hold on. 8 months, basically 8 months old, almost 9 months. I moved to New York with my daddy, and my mom was still there. So I traveled a lot back and forth from New York to Guyana in order to spend time with my mommy and my daddy until I was 5. That's when my mom was finally in New York, and I didn't have to travel as much. So yeah, that's basically, my parents used to call me a travel agent. No, not a travel agent. My parents used to call me a flight attendant. They said I traveled as much as a flight attendant did, because from the moment I was 9 months until I was 5 years old, all I did was go back and forth in order to spend time with my mom and my dad. So yeah. And next question, how tall are you? I'm 5'1.5". I thought I was 5'2". I thought for a few years that I was 5'2", because that's what my doctor measured me as, but recently I was pregnant and the doctor checked my height. She was like, oh, you're 5'1.5", and I'm like, did I shrink when I got pregnant? I don't know. Do I have any siblings? Yes, I do. I have tons of siblings. Long story short, both of my parents were previously married before they met. So my mom in her previous marriage had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. My dad in his previous marriage had 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And together there's me and my 2 younger brothers, and then my cousin that we adopted. So those are my siblings. I basically have 3 sisters and 5 brothers. Yeah, there's a lot of us. We love each other. Right, guys? My horoscope sign. My horoscope sign is a Taurus. I'm a Taurus. My birthday is May 12, and I rep Taurus to the bone, if that makes sense. So I'm really proud of my horoscope sign because I feel like it really describes me, like legit. I don't know if I overthink it and I'm like, oh, that is totally me, but no, I feel like every time I read something about the characteristics, I'm like, that's me. Every time I meet someone, I don't know if you guys think I'm crazy, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, you're a Taurus, right? Just by their characteristics and the way they act, the way they talk, the way they view life. It's insane. And half the time I'm right. Or even if I meet someone, I can automatically like that guess their horoscopes because I'm like into that. And I'm like, you're totally a Capricorn. Oh my god, you're a Scorpio. Oh my god, you're a Leo. Like, you know, my husband's a Scorpio and Ari's a Leo. That's why I threw that in there. My first job. Well, my first job I had when I was 17? No. Or 18. It's crazy how you forget these little details. Oh my god, not even. I was 18. Yeah, I think I was 18. My first job was obviously in Florida, because I lived in Florida from the age of 15 until I was 22. My parents moved there. So I worked at an outlet factory, and there's a sister store to 9 West called Easy Spirit, and my best friend at the time worked at 9 West. So I went, well, I was job hunting, and I went and I visited her, and she was like, oh, you know what, they're hiring next door, you should go in and talk to the manager. So I'm like, okay, no job experience whatsoever. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. How hard is it to sell shoes, right? So I walked inside and I met the manager, and long story short, I got the job. So I worked at Easy Spirit for about, I would say, a year and a half, I think. I like bounced around to jobs a lot. Well, not a lot, but I always like wanted to try something new. I didn't want to get too comfortable in something I was doing, because then I felt like I made it a routine and I was getting used to it, and I didn't want to do that for myself. So I was constantly looking for a new environment. I feel like the longest job I held and I stayed with was Guess, the clothing company. Well, accessories. I was working for Guess Accessories actually, because like we were like a family there. It was amazing. I just fell in love with everyone there. So shout out to my Guess team in Florida. I think the store was 4102. I don't remember. It was at the Premium Outlets. When I even moved to New York, I transferred to the Guess, the flagship store in the city. So I was a part of the Guess family for a really long time, and I loved it until I felt like I got too comfortable again and had to go venture out into something new. But basically moving from the one in Florida to the one in New York was venturing out, because it's a totally different scene. I went from the outlets where we got a lot of tourists to the city where we also got a lot of tourists, but it was like a flagship store, so it's super busy. We had to be on our A game at all times. The only crazy thing about working there was we had to wear heels all the time. So after working there, even while I was working there, I was so used to wearing heels constantly. Like I felt like my feet were like just like this, like for years. And now it's like when I wear heels, I'm like dying, and I'm like, how did I do it back then? But I was super young then, and you know, I'm old now. Wait, when and how did you start getting into makeup? By the way, your family is cute. Thank you. You're so sweet. Well, I was 15 and I was living in Florida. So my older siblings, like my sisters, weren't living there. I was basically the oldest one in the household. So no one taught me how to do makeup, because my sisters barely wore makeup and my mom barely wears makeup. Up to now, she barely wears makeup unless I do her makeup. So I had to kind of like teach myself. What I did was I went out and I bought a few things, or I would use my mom's. And I was in high school, so everyone was wearing makeup. And I felt like I needed to, I guess, feel confident in a new town and stuff like that, a new school. So I just started to throw makeup on my face. I learned by myself, because at that time YouTube and makeup wasn't really that big of a deal. Well, not even really. It wasn't a big of a deal at all. You don't see tutorials being thrown out there, and like girls at 15 now look like me. Not even. They don't even look like they're 15 or going through an awkward stage at all. Like I totally look so awkward. So I needed the makeup. But that's how I started. I started doing makeup on myself and learning how to put on mascara, foundation. You know what? I didn't even own foundation. All I used was powder and some blush and mascara and a little bit of eyeshadow. That was what it was then. Literally, and my eyeshadow was like up to here, you know, with the bright colors and everything. But it was the basics. So that's basically when I learned, at the age of 15, and how I learned. I just like went through my mom's stuff and just started to put powder on my face, some blush, and then some mascara, a little bit of shadow. Didn't even touch my brows, and contour highlight wasn't a thing. I wish it was, because that probably would have made a world of difference in high school. And yeah, that's my backstory. I basically had to teach myself, and I did, and then I just kept doing it. and I just had this passion for it. And I feel like that all came from the fact that growing up I was always into art. Like, I loved art. I was in all the top art classes in New York. If I was bored at home growing up when I was younger, you would find me literally drawing. If I wasn't drawing, I was reading a book. I sound like a nerd. Ugh, I wish I was a nerd, but I sound like a nerd. I totally am not a nerd. Or maybe I am. I don't know. You guys tell me. So, am I talking too fast? So I feel like I might be. So yeah, I would be, I would literally get yelled at by my mom in the middle of the night to go to sleep because I was up reading Harry Potter books. And she would find me and yell at me because the next morning I wouldn't want to get up for school. And then when I would finish all my Harry Potter books, all I did was draw my favorite characters, random things, put it on the walls. So yeah, I was in all the top art classes. It was like my favorite thing ever. And especially being, you know, one of 9 siblings, you have to like find something that I guess calms you, because it was loud. My house was loud. Even though all 9 of us never really lived together, there was usually 5 of us in the house at once regardless. So I needed something, and that was my something, art. So yeah, I guess that leads to how I got into makeup, because in Florida that was basically my way of creating art for myself. You know, that's how I always thought of it, and that's how I always felt. So when I am doing makeup on someone, I feel like that's me creating art. That's my way of expressing art, you know? Do you have any tattoos? I do. I have 3 tattoos. I have stars on my feet, literally on my feet. It was my 18th birthday / graduation present. So I really wanted it, and I think my brother paid for it for me. So yeah, that. And then I have a lotus on the back of my neck. It has great meaning to me. And then I have a tattoo on my hip in Sanskrit, and it says, "Our faith is written in the stars." And for those who know me and those who don't, I want you guys to know I am obsessed with stars. I've been obsessed with stars since I was younger. It was kind of my way of falling asleep at night. Growing up, you know, my mom being in Guyana, my dad being here, and like when we would be separated, I felt like that was the easiest way for me to fall asleep. I would just like stare at the stars and like go to sleep. Yeah, so stars. My faith is written in stars. Stars are really meaningful to me. My favorite makeup product. I don't know if I have a favorite product.
Your palette?
Yeah, but okay, my favorite makeup product, I don't really have one because I feel like I really need a lot of my makeup products. I won't say that one specific thing is my favorite. I would say I like all of them and I need most of them. Okay, my Brow Wiz maybe. I don't know. I don't really have a favorite makeup product. Oh, okay. My Fix Plus. It's not makeup, but it's my favorite product to use on my makeup. I always need my Fix Plus. I feel like if I don't spray my face before leaving with the Fix Plus, I feel like my makeup's incomplete. So, yeah, that. How did you come up with the name Aria and the meaning behind it? Funny story. When I was living in Florida and working at Easy Spirit, like I mentioned before, I went to have lunch at Subway's. And the girl making my sandwich kept saying this name. And I had to stop her. And I'm like, what's that name? And then she goes, Aria. But I think she said Araya. And I'm like, oh my god, I really like this name. But then I said it in my head. I'm like, but I like it as Aria. And Trav and I were dating at the time. and I called him and I'm like, so if we ever get married and have a kid, specifically a daughter, I want to name her Aria. And he, you know, he's like, what? And I'm like, just like, yeah, that's the name. Like, I'm in love with it. Like, I don't care. Like, that's her name. Mind you, that was 9 years ago. And I still feel that way about that name. I'm just like in love with it. And the meaning of the name is amazing too. I know the Hebrew meaning to it is lioness. The Italian meaning of Aria is melody. Hindu meaning for Aria is another name for goddess Parvati. So yeah, like that's a plus. Also, another reason for Aria, like I said, Parvati, it's another name for goddess Parvati. It goes with our moms. My mom's name is Sham, which is a Hindu god's name. And then his mom's name is Rose, which is another Hindu god's name, Rose. Her middle name, if you guys are wondering, Travis chose it because, you know, Jasmine and Rose, they're flowers. Name one of your favorite beauty gurus. One of my favorite beauty gurus is Desi Perkins. I love her so much. She's like amazing. I feel like every time I watch her videos, I can relate. She seems so genuine, so real, and she doesn't seem like she's all into that crazy hype of like, you know, just doing makeup to be famous. I feel like she's doing it because she genuinely loves it, and there's just something about her personality that just like attracts me towards her. I just love the way she is as a person, and just her goals, and her husband, like their relationship is amazing. So I do hope that one day I can be as great as Desi Perkins. You know, she's amazing. And I feel like when it comes to her lifestyle and like events that happen in her life, she's so like mellow about it, and she's willing to share anything and everything with you. So I like it, and I love that she's so raw with her fans and genuinely seems to like love us. So yeah, she's one of my favorites. Okay, how long have you been working as a makeup artist? I've been working as a professional makeup artist since 2014, because I worked for Burberry Cosmetics, and then I worked in Sephora, and then I worked at MAC. And I was working at MAC up until I got pregnant, and then I left because I had a difficult, I won't say pregnancy, but I couldn't keep food down, and the smells and everything was bothering me a lot. So I went on maternity leave, and I started to freelance since. And I've been doing makeup at home or going to clients' house ever since. So yeah, since 2014, professionally. Drugstore or high-end? I would say either or. There's a few drugstore items that I love, and of course high-end items that I love. I feel like drugstore items are stepping their game up big time. Yeah, it probably takes a few years later for it to come out, but when they come out with something, it's great. For instance, the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara, I love it. That's actually what I'm wearing right now. It's really similar to the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. The only thing is, compared to that one, is it doesn't like drop fibers on your face. So I love the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. It's amazing. You guys should go try it. It's the best. And NYX products, they sell them in CVS, so like tons of things from them I love. I do have a video on a whole full face makeup that I did using all NYX products, so go check that out. Favorite lipstick? My favorite lipstick is, I used to use Whirl all the time. It was my go-to lipstick. Anywhere I went, like for any makeup look, I felt like it complemented and it went so well. Now I would say is Huda Beauty's Girlfriend, her liquid lipstick. It's really similar to Whirl. Actually, I'm wearing it right now. Huda Beauty Girlfriend. This is it. More kids? Yeah, we do want more kids. We don't want more kids right now. I mean, if God decides to give us a kid right now, then, you know, with all means, we're gonna embrace it. But We want to basically give Aria as much attention as we can, and I feel like I owe that to her, you know? She's my baby. I want to wait until she's about 3, 4 before we think about having another kid. So yeah, in the future, not right now. So next question is my favorite clothing brand. I don't have a favorite clothing brand at the moment. I know like my go-to dress website would be House of CB, and that's because I'm so last minute when it comes to picking out outfits or getting an outfit for an event. So they ship literally 1 to 2 days, like the next day, and if I know I'm running behind on finding an outfit or something, that's the first place I go, is House of CB. As of like everyday clothing, I would say Forever 21. I used to shop there all the time. What I do now is I literally online shop. So yeah, Forever 21, Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova is amazing. It's been a lifesaver since I don't really have much time to go out and get outfits like at the mall, and plus I don't have patience for it anymore. Online shopping has been the best ever. So one of the questions are, who do I think I look more like, my mom or my dad? I personally think I'm a perfect mixture of both my mom and my dad, but lately I've been seeing a lot of my mom in me. I don't know if it's because motherhood makes me see a lot of my mom in me, but that definitely has to be it, because sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I'm just like, whoa, I look like my mom. But most of the times I'm like, I don't know if I look like my dad or my mom, but I have equal amounts of both my mom and my dad in me. Like, I have my dad's nose, and I feel like I have my mom's eyes and her mouth. I have my dad's face, like, shape, I feel. So yeah, I feel like I have a perfect combination of both of them, and that's what people say about Aria too. Some people see me and some people see Trav, but a lot of people have told us they see the perfect mixture of Aria in both of us. So yeah, I guess that's a great thing. She's sleeping right now. So this is the last question, and it's, what's the secret to a long-lasting relationship? I don't think there is a secret. You just have to learn to compromise a lot and listen to each other, and don't go to bed angry. You know, you have to learn to sit down and make time for one another and talk out your problems, even though there will be disagreements and fights, like every relationship has. Mine has it. Like, we're not perfect. We definitely aren't perfect, but we know that we love each other and we love our family that we've created with each other, and it's worth fighting for. So I think the secret is compromising, and I hope that helps. Well guys, I hope this video was informative, and I hope you guys got to know me a little bit more. If you guys have any other questions that you would like for me to answer, or if you would like for hubby to answer, leave it down below, and then we will do a, husband-wife tag, so you get to know him a little bit more, if that's what you guys want. I loved doing this video because I felt like I was able to open up about my life and like my history and the backstory of why I love makeup and why I do makeup, and just my personality. I hope you guys were able to just get to know me a little bit more, rather than me sitting in front of the camera and just doing eye look and sitting here and talking to you guys. Even though you're not in front of me, it feels like you guys are. I hope you guys have gotten to know me a little bit more, and you have a little bit of insight in my life, and you can relate to me a lot more than just a picture on social media or a tutorial on YouTube. So if you guys have any other questions at all, please feel free to leave it in the comment below. Thank you guys so much for these questions. I truly enjoyed answering them all. Thank you for all the love and the support and the amazing and kind words. They mean so much to me, and literally that's why I do what I do. And you guys have been amazing. Thank you. Good night. See you guys in my next video.